Yesterday, Bitcoin broke down of the ascending triangle, hit lows on the daily RSI not seen since the pandemic crash, and more importantly, retesting very important support. But I personally think I am seeing something very important, that Bitcoin potentially is still going to crash a little bit lower. So I will be exactly explaining this on today's update video. I will talk about the massive deleveraging that we're currently seeing in the open interest across this market. I will talk about the imminent short term and many more important stuff. So don't forget to slap off that like button on today's update video. Can we smash it back about 500 likes? That will be absolutely incredible. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. So yes, it is right now weekend. It's Saturday. So we will be once again expecting that Bitcoin is going to hold for somewhere around the 26,000 US dollars, since that was the CME close price. The $26,000 is going to be the level that I will be watching. But of course, if I am looking at previous weekends, every single time the CME gap played out perfectly, but also the volatility was super low. Right now, volatility picked up. And if I looked at the past times that Bitcoin was in a weekend and the days before were super high in volatility, there is a very big likely possibility that we will be creating a CME gap. So I won't be surprised that over the course of this weekend, we once again will be creating a CME gap, but then we're expecting that this is going to get filled up somewhere on the Monday or Tuesday. Further on, we can see that on the imminent short term right now for Bitcoin, we are starting to create some higher lows on the RSI while the price action is creating lower lows. So we are potentially starting to create some bullish divergences. However, there is no very significant reaction from the price action of Bitcoin yet so far. And make sure to stick in the video a little bit longer, because I will be talking about what I do really think is going to be happening with Bitcoin in a moment from now on, once I'm going to go in towards the higher time frame, because there I can be making up a little bit of a better story. So quickly talking about the 4-hourly time frame. If we are looking at the RSI right now here, we can currently see that the RSI on the 4-hourly time frame hit a low of 5 on the index. And if you're looking back at the past, you can see that literally no time before the Bitcoin RSI was so low on its index, and that makes it a very interesting point. And even in the pandemic crash here, the RSI was not hitting 5 on the 4-hourly time frame. So Bitcoin is currently on the 4-hourly on an all-time low on the RSI index. What we can learn from the previous occasions, here you can see also RSI was significantly oversold. Then Bitcoin recovered very quickly. Here as well, RSI was significantly oversold. Bitcoin recovered quite quickly back towards the upside before once again dumping. So we can see that every single time once the RSI is so super oversold, we tend to see somewhat of a bounce here. So I won't be surprised if we are going to see a little bit of a bounce here, because if I'm currently looking at the funding rates, they are very negative. And why this is happening is because many liquidations took place here on the market on Bitcoin. Literally, we had the largest liquidation event here, even bigger than the FTX collapse, what is of course absolutely insane. And if you are looking at the open interest in the market, we have seen a massive dump in terms of open interest. And to be exact here, more than 35% of the total open interest on Bitcoin left the markets. And literally, the majority of the open interest were long positions that are currently exiting the market. And due to that reason, we're seeing the funding rates being so negative. And due to that reason, I won't be surprised that Bitcoin is going to be seeing a small bounce here, since also the 4-hourly time frame is quite significantly oversold. But before people understand me not clearly, I personally think we could be getting a small little bounce here. But in the end of the day, I think Bitcoin is still going to be filling up the wick here, because usually once Bitcoin have these very sharp wicks towards the downside, they tend to be filling up the wicks, because that is where the liquidity lies in the market. So I think on the imminent short term, we could start to see potentially a bounce here. And right now, since we basically flipped the macro trend here, I do really think we're going to still see some bearish price suppression. But yes, I do remain to be expecting that Bitcoin is going to see a small little bounce in the short term. But at the end of the day, we could still fill up this wick here, because if you look at previous occasions on the market, also in the FTX collapse, we had the massive dump towards the downside. We didn't fill up the wick here, but then we moved back towards the upside, consolidated, and just a few weeks after, we hit that wick, we touched that liquidity, and we moved back towards the upside. Here as well, we wicked towards the downside, then the day after, we hit that liquidity, we moved towards the upside. We had a very big wick towards the lower side, and I personally think we're still going to grab the liquidity before bouncing back towards the upside, but it doesn't necessarily have to be happening today here. So if you're looking also at the open interest on Bitcoin, to give you a very clear indication, right now a lot of leverage is going out of the market, and this is actually a super good thing for us, the long-term holder in the market, because the lower the leverage is here, the more better the buying opportunity is actually in the market. And currently currently we are at a low in terms of open interest in the market, not seen since March 2023. And basically, if you're zooming out in the entire trend of Bitcoin to see whenever it's a good buying opportunity is whenever the open interest is also low in the market. So let me make this a little bit bigger here. And you can see every single time once the open interest is dropping here towards these lows right here, we tend to see at least a small bounce towards the upside. So here we saw it bounce towards the upside, bounce to $25,000 from up $17,000. Here from the FTX collapse was low all the way up here towards approximately 32,000 US dollars. Then as well here on $45,000, we were had a low in open interest and then we bounced back towards 70,000 US dollars. So once again, open interest is low. So it is indicating there is a very good buying opportunity and there's a lot of deleveraging going on here on the imminent short term. You can clearly see it if you go to the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin. You can see just so much long positions are getting closed right now here. You can see every single hour more and more open interest leaves the market, and you see that the price is getting a little bit suppressed because people are closing their long positions on Bitcoin right now here. What makes it, in my opinion, a very interesting time to be accumulating, and I'm not necessarily saying on leverage but also on spot. So that is also what I'm currently doing. And of course, I've still got a small little trade on Ethereum where I am going to double down on if Ethereum hits 1,500 US dollars. But currently, I am in approximately 37% loss here, about $18,000. But I'm going to add another 50,000 US dollars if if Ethereum is going to hit 1,500 US dollars. So yeah, I am expecting it could still go a little bit lower here, but I am not necessarily super worried about this trade right now on the imminent short term, since also the funding rate is quite significantly negative on the moment. So yeah, I talked about why I think Bitcoin could still go lower, but one thing I am not expecting is that Bitcoin is going to be breaking below this very important horizontal support line. So you can clearly see this is a very important support line that previously around provided very significant support and resistance for Bitcoin. And personally, I think we're going to be holding this level. And what I've been saying also on yesterday's video here is that I will be expecting that Bitcoin is going to trade in this sideways consolidation phase. I think it's going to come down again here. It's going to be bouncing back towards the upside. It's going to come down again until the halving is going to close in here. So that is basically what I'm expecting right now in the imminent short term for Bitcoin. Quickly talking about the daily time frame. The daily time frame is currently hitting a low on the RSI, not seen since the pandemic crash of Bitcoin back in 2020. What happened in 2020? We saw quite a stealth recovery back towards the upside, and it took us an approximately 50 to 60 days here before it recovered back towards its previous price here towards the upside. So yeah, we are right now in same lows in terms of the RSI on the daily time frame as the pandemic crash and also as the crash of 2018 in the bear market for Bitcoin. But since this move is so stealthier, I do at least expect that we're going to see somewhat consolidation before we're going to see another move getting initiated. We did broke the uptrend that we created from the beginning of 2023, and due to that, the macro is right now shifting around a little bit here. What I really want to be seeing here is Bitcoin holding this level if we do break below this level, because $25,000 was my main support to be looking at. That if Bitcoin breaks below this level, then we're quite screwed, because yes, you can clearly see this is really the bear market territorium. That $25,000, as long as we hold above that here, we're still looking quite decent in my opinion. And of course, if you're looking at the 4-day time frame, you can clearly see the trends in Bitcoin in the history on the super trend indicator. Basically, the super trend indicator was very bearish right here, was a very good indication. Bullish right here. Right now, it still remains to be bullish. So as long as we're not breaking below $25,000, the super trend indicator is going to remain to be bullish. And of course, if we break above $25,000, I really think the macro trend is going to be shifting around here towards a more bearish bias trend here. Right now, I still remain to be believing that we could start to see a small little bounce from off the support line, but you have to be paying attention. The liquidity is probably going to get grabbed, so won't be surprised to see Bitcoin come down to 25 to 24.8k before moving towards the upside. So be prepared for that. I wouldn't be going long necessarily right now here, since I'd still expect that 24.8k is a reachable target for Bitcoin to be hitting before really bouncing and reversing back towards the upside. So that was it for me in today's update video. I truly hope you did learn something from it, and if you did so, don't forget to slap up the like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.